Hey yogis and welcome. My name is Janine and thank you so much for joining me here today in Costa Rica. Today's practice is a twisty feel good flow that is good for the beginning of the day or maybe a break in your day or perhaps you're ending your day here. So no matter where you're at, this practice is designed to help you feel good and to wring out the internal digestive system. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin in Baddha Konasana, butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together out in front of you. And go ahead and sit back on your sit bones, maybe grabbing onto your shins, your ankles, or your feet. And from here, we're going to grow the spine nice and long, relaxing the shoulders back behind us. And I'll invite you here, if it feels good to you, to close down your eyes. We'll begin our practice here, opening up the hips, getting a gentle stretch in the groin, and just beginning to breathe, beginning to check in with our breath and where we're at today. Taking this time to land into your space and into your practice, allowing your breath to bring you into your present moment. Be the observer of your breath. Allow your breath to be what brings you back throughout your practice today. On your next inhale, let's float our arms up towards the sky, touching your palms overhead. And on your exhale, we'll get into our first twist, so allowing your hands to float over to your right hand side, bringing your left hand towards your right knee and your right hand back behind you. Just starting off gentle here, not twisting too far. Allowing your hand to help prop you up to keep your spine nice and long. Taking a full round of breath. As you inhale, coming back to center, floating your hands back up towards the sky. And on your exhale, we're going to twist over to our left hand side this time, bringing our right hand towards our knee and our left hand back behind us. Again, just being gentle here. Maybe your gaze just looks over your left shoulder or slightly over to your left-hand side. Just breathing into this shape, allowing for this twist to help bring out those internal organs, to help detoxify and to cleanse our bodies. As you inhale, we're going to bring it back to center and float the hands up towards the sky. As you exhale, we're going to twist back over to our right hand side, bringing our left hand onto our knee and our right hand this time up and overhead, getting into a nice lateral side body stretch on the right hand side. Using your left hand on your knee as leveraged here to help reach and pull you over, getting into some equal oppositions here. So plugging into both sit bones, breathing deeply. On your next inhale, let's bring it back to center, bringing your right hand back behind you, and let's float our hands up towards the sky, palms brush, and you guessed it, we're going to twist over to our second side, bringing your right hand onto your left knee and reaching that left hand and that arm overhead. So you're creating this nice C shape, getting into a big lateral stretch on the left hand side here. Open up the chest, maybe think about hugging your shoulder blades together. Relax in the head and the neck. Breathe deeply into the shape. Feel that big stretch you're creating. All the while keeping your soles of the feet together in that butterfly shape. So we're opening up the hips and we're getting into a nice side body stretch here. One more full round of breath. And on your next inhale, let's untwist everything, bringing it back to center, reaching your hands up towards the sky. And on your exhale, bringing your prayer down towards your heart center. From here, we're going to transition onto our hands and knees. So go ahead and roll forward, making your way into a tabletop pose. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Finding your foundation here, we'll get into a little cat and cow. So inhale as you drop your belly, gaze looks up, and exhale as you round your spine, coming into that cat shape. Couple times like this, just following your breath, beginning to wake up the spine, feeling into the spinal column. any little nooks and crannies. Finding a neutral spine now, we're going to plant firmly into our right hand as we peel open our left, bringing it up towards the sky on an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to thread that arm underneath the right, just bringing your shoulder to the earth for one moment. Inhaling again as you reach back up towards the sky, opening up the chest, and exhale as you thread it through. So doing that one more time before we relax into our thread the needle. So open up the chest on your inhale, reach far up, 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 and exhale as you thread it through, this time letting the left ear come down onto the earth, relaxing your shoulder, and maybe crawling your right fingertips up towards the top of the mat. See how that changes the stretch. Or perhaps you'd like to come into a bind if you would like to reach your arm back behind you and then place it on top of your thigh. That can really open up the chest here too, squeezing your shoulder blades. So play around with sensation and what works for you today. Breathing deeply into this shape, making sure that your hips aren't dipping over to one side, so squaring up off your hips here. Taking 2 more full rounds of breath. Wherever you have your hand, bring it back underneath your shoulder so that you can push yourself up, reaching back up to the sky, unthreading, and then placing your left hand to meet your right onto the mat. We'll just come into one round of cat and cow, following your breath. Once completed, go ahead and plant firmly into your left hand so you can reach your right up towards the sky. Exhaling as you begin to thread it through, planting your shoulder on the mat for just a second as you inhale and stretch back, open and up. And exhale as you thread it through, doing that one more time, following your rhythm of breath. As you thread it through, this time relaxing your shoulder and your ear onto the mat. We're going to stay here for a few rounds of breath. So finding your variation with your top arm, maybe stretching it forward, or perhaps bringing it into that bind. Situating yourself into this shape and breathing. Feeling the stretch you're creating in your shoulders, the twist that you're getting in your upper body. Feeling sensation and breathing into it. We'll take one more full round of breath. Now wherever you've placed that upper hand, we'll bring it back down towards the mat, placing it underneath your shoulder so you can lift yourself up, unthreading and bringing that top arm all the way to the sky. Then as you exhale, placing it down to meet your left onto the mat. Now just sliding your hands about an inch further in front of you, tucking your toes back behind you, and we're going to slowly begin to push our hips up towards the sky as we set ourselves up in our downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet here, bending deeply into one knee at a time as you get into this full body stretch. We're going to slowly begin to walk our feet to the outer edges of the mat, coming into a wider stance. Maybe bringing your hands a little bit closer towards you as well. From here, we're going to reach across us with our right hand, grabbing onto the outer edge of the left foot, coming into this downward dog twist. Looking underneath that left armpit, let your head be heavy here. Allow for your hand to help pull you over so you're twisting deeper. Taking one more full round of breath. And then bring it back to center, untwisting. We'll set ourselves up for the second side. Reaching across with your left hand now, grabbing onto that outer right leg and using that as leverage to help pull and twist you open. Breathing deeply and fully here. And on your next exhale, we're going to release that twist, bringing it back to center. Bringing your feet back towards each other, so you're coming back into your traditional downward dog shape. We're going to bend deeply into the knees so that you can begin to lunge yourself forward, stepping your right foot in between your hands, setting yourself up for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Taking a full round of breath here. And when you're ready, we'll begin to lengthen our right leg. So we're coming into a half splits, getting into the hamstrings. And inhaling as we roll back forward into our low lunge. So moving like this a couple times, just really feeling out the hips and the hamstrings. Allowing your breath to be what initiates your movement. So being mindful and listening to your body here. Completing one final round before you roll back into your low lunge. And from here, we'll plant firmly into our left hand so we can peel our right up towards the sky, just like we did earlier. So squeezing your shoulder blades together, really think about opening up the chest here. As you exhale, go ahead and release that hand to frame your foot, planting firmly into your right hand now as you reach your left up towards the sky, coming into a counter twist. How does this side feel compared to the other? Taking a big breath in and exhale to release. We'll inhale as we float both hands up towards the sky, palms touch, and as you exhale, bringing it to heart center. From here, we'll get into yet another twist, so hooking your left elbow on the outer edge of the right leg and twisting yourself open, so staying in that prayer shape. Really push equally into both hands, opening up the chest here. Gaze looks over your right hand side, taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring it back to center. We'll place both of our hands to frame that right foot, lifting up that back knee so you can step yourself back into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. Just take a couple rounds of breath to feel into this shape. See how things have changed. And bending deeply again into your knees. We're going to step it forward when you're ready with our left foot, setting ourselves back up into our Anjaneyasana, the low lunge on our second side. Taking a full round of breath here to feel into this side. Before we begin to move between the two shapes, half splits and low lunge. So when you're ready, you can begin to lengthen your left leg, bringing your hips back, feeling into your hamstrings, and breathing as you begin to roll yourself forward into your low lunge. So following your rhythm of breath here, moving as quickly or as slowly as feels good to you today. Let your chest be open, shoulders rolling back as you move between these shapes, finding integrity and stability through each movement. Completing one final round as you roll back forward into your low lunge, planting firmly into your right hand as you stretch and reach your left up towards the sky, coming into an open twist. Maybe your gaze follows here, deeply breathing in. And as you exhale, releasing your left hand to meet your right, planting into that hand as you reach your right up towards the sky, coming into, again, a counter twist here. Squeezing your shoulder blades, opening up the heart space, taking another round of breath. And as you exhale, go ahead and release that arm down towards the mat. On your next inhale, go ahead and swing both hands up towards the sky. Let your shoulders be light here. Taking a full round of breath. And on your exhale, bringing your hands down to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. Taking a big breath in, we're going to twist over to our left hand side, hooking our right elbow on the outer edge of our left leg. Pushing equally into both hands, nice and strong in the legs here. Open up the chest. Breathing deeply, filling up the diaphragm, feeling this deep stretch and twist in the belly. And on your next inhale, bringing it back to center, placing both hands to frame your foot, lifting up that back knee and stepping it back into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out here, feeling into any more spaciousness that you've created. And when you're ready, we're going to drop our knees down to the earth, sinking our hips to our heels, And coming into Balasana, child's pose, maybe reaching your hands out in front of you, palms flat to the earth. Once you're here, we're going to begin to walk our hands over to our right hand side so that we're draping our chest now over our right thigh. So we're coming into a nice side body stretch here. Let your head be heavy, relax it down towards the earth. Let your hips be heavy. Breathing here. On your next inhale, we're going to lift up our head, our torso, and just begin to slowly walk our hands back to center and then over to the left-hand side. Let your chest be heavy over your left thigh here. Let your head find the earth, pushing into your palms and breathing, letting your breath meet sensation. One final breath here. On your next inhale, begin to slowly lift your torso, your head up, and walk yourself back to center. Then sliding your palms towards your knees so you can lift yourself up, sitting onto your heels. And just sliding over to one side so that you can find yourself in a cross-legged position in Sukhasana. And from here, we're going to get into a little more outer glute work. So one of my favorite stretches, we're going to get into fire log. So we're going to bring both of our shins so that they're parallel over one another. So stack your right leg over your left, ankles in line with your knees, flex into both feet. You most certainly may have a gap between your right knee and your right ankle, and that's totally okay. So find yourself here. When you're ready, we're going to inhale our hands up towards the sky. And exhale as we come into one more twist, so bringing your left hand towards your right knee and your right hand back behind you. Breathing here and twisting from the midline. You don't need to twist too far. Maybe let this final twist be a gentle one. Taking a final round of breath here. And exhale as you bring it back to center. Let's bring both hands back behind us so we can unthread our legs. And just slowly begin to drop your knees over to one side. Maybe your gaze looks opposite. And bring it back to center as you drop it over to the other side. Just little windshield wiper movements here. One more time on your own. And let's begin to set ourselves up for our second and final side. So bringing your right leg underneath your left this time. Stacking your left parallel over your shins, flexing into both feet, stacking your ankle over your knee. Again, it's okay to have that space in between your knee and your ankle. If you do have a prop and you want to put it there, that can be nice and supportive. Once you're ready, let's inhale as we reach our hands to the sky, palms touch overhead, and exhale as you begin to twist over to your left-hand side. Bringing your right hand to your knee and your left hand back behind you. Keeping your spine nice and long here, shoulders down away from the ears. Gaze looks over your left hand side. Just taking it easy here. No need to twist too far, maybe allowing this last twist to be gentle and nourishing. This practice is not only helping the digestive system, the internal organs, but it's also giving us a deep, full body stretch. So just give love and thanks to your body for taking this time for you. Let's inhale as we come back to center, bringing your hands back behind you, unthreading your legs, and let's just let that out. Maybe wiggling and shaking your legs, bending one at a time, whatever feels good here, just to release that stretch. Once you feel satisfied, we're going to come into a cross-legged seat so we can close our practice just how we started with some mindful breath. So once you're there, I'll invite you one last time to close down your eyes and just begin to follow your breath, noticing your inhales and noticing your exhales. If you'd like to join me in Anjali Mudra, we'll bring our hands to heart center, dropping our chin towards our chest in thanks, in gratitude, Namaste. I'm sending you so much love, yogis. Thank you for being here with me today, and have a beautiful rest of your day.